Today, we'll be reviewing Harvest Moon Animal Parade
and Harvest Moon Tree of Tranquility. In Tree of Tranquility, you're a new rancher coming to the island of Waffle Island because you saw a great brochure that attracted you to the island to begin with. And little did you know, when you get there are many problems going on. The mother tree has just recently died, and you then begin your adventure searching for the 5 sprites to then bring back their rainbows to revive the island.
In Animal Parade, you and your little sprite Finn are coming to Harmonica Town to help the goddess and the dying tree. In Harmonica Town, there are problems with the sea and fire and plants growing and just about everything. In Animal Parade, you have to ring the 5 bells, which are the 5 sprites, to bring back a balance to Harmonica Town. So in my Animal Parade, the frame rate is actually really bad. The game gets kind of jittery around the farm and walking on some of the paths.
Now, usually in Tree of Tranquility, the frame rate is really bad, particularly on the farm when you're with your animals, but in my case, I've never had any problems except when I'm up near the mining district.
So I guess it really depends what game you get. Another difference in mechanics is the time. In Animal Parade, the time is just slightly slower, and the biggest difference is that time doesn't pass indoors.
Whereas in Tree of Tranquility, it does pass indoors, so you really need to, keep an eye on your time, and it really does go by very fast, and you really need to plan out your day accordingly.
Well, in Animal Parade, you kind of go to bed early because you've run out of stamina and there's nothing else to do. In Animal Parade, you also have to run a lot farther than in Tree of Tranquility. Everything is spread out. Flute Fields is really far away from your farm, which is really far away from the Garmin Mine and Harmonica Town.
In Tree of Tranquility, things are a lot closer and the loading screens are a lot faster. Though, like I said, because time goes by so fast, you really need to figure out what you want to do with your day. If you want to go fishing one day, that's all you can do that day. If you want to go mining one day, that's all you're going to be able to do in the time that you've been given before you go to bed.
Now again, from everything you've read when researching these games, that's actually not normal. Animal Parade is supposed to have quick loading screens but a long distance, while Tree of Tranquility is supposed to have long loading screens. As far as time goes, Animal Parade is also done in military time, while Tree of Tranquility is done in normal time.
It's really frustrating to try and have to sit there and figure out what time it is in military time when you're looking at Animal Parade, because you really need to figure out where to go at certain times of the day. But in Tree of Tranquility, it's nice because everything is in normal time and you don't have to think about it as much.
Yeah. The cows look really dumb in Animal Parade. They look very similar, but they just have these big bulbous heads that take away their cuteness and their realisticness. They're just none of the above.
Yeah, unfortunately in Animal Parade they don't look realistic at all compared to the horses that you see when you go to one of the farms. But in Tree of Tranquility they look very realistic, as along with all the other animals in the game, which is a really nice feature. Also in both games, the fish are very realistic. Anything you catch, you see a squid, it's a squid. Not every fish is just some generic shape of a fish.
Yes. Every night when you go to sleep, both games show you your daily earnings, split up in, mining, fishing, farm, all of that. It's really helpful because you get to keep track and have an idea of what things get you.
It's really great because at the end of the day in Tree of Tranquility, there's a little sprite that dances next to your daily earnings if it's above 2,000 grand. In both games, unfortunately enough, your stamina is too short. I really see this in Tree of Tranquility. Once I'm finally done watering all of my crops and picking all of my weeds, I'm too tired to then maybe go fishing for the day, which is a great way to make money. But then I have to run all the way up around the corner into a different loading screen to get to the hot spring. Whereas in Animal Parade,
you can just walk, you can just run your way, and in Animal Parade there's actually a hot springs on your farm. In Animal Parade, you start off with a coop and a barn. However, you don't get to choose where things go, like where you have your farm.
Yeah, in Tree of Tranquility, you get to choose from 3 different plots: the seaside plot, the town plot, and the hilltop plot. They're all great plots. Personally, I tried the hilltop one first. It's great because it's right next to the forest and mining if you're going up that way a lot first thing in the morning. The town plot is great for being right next to town. And, I really don't see a point in doing the seaside plot because it's across a bridge separate from everybody else. It just makes you a little farther away from everything, and I just don't like being that close to the ocean.
And in both games, you can have multiple homes. In Tree of Tranquility, you can put villas on your other farms and sleep there, but your family doesn't go there. However, in Animal Parade, you buy vacation homes that are vacation houses, vacant at the moment, and you can't sleep there, so there's really no point to it. Unlike Magical Melody, Tree of Tranquility, you can't decide where buildings go. So even though the game claims you have free range, you really don't.
Now, in Tree of Tranquility, you don't get to choose where your barn goes, and you don't get to choose where your coop goes because, surprise, in the beginning of the game, you're not given them. You're also not given any animals or really any money to start off yourself with. You only get $360.
As opposed to the about 1,500 that you start in Animal Parade, though they do force you to spend basically all of it immediately. The other good thing about Tree of Tranquility is that you get a grass field, and in Animal Parade you have to grow your own grass.
It's also very frustrating because in Tree of Tranquility, as I've just discovered, when you get silkworms, you cannot bring them outside with the rest of your animals to feed them in this field. That comes automatically with either your coop or your barn, so you do have to plan accordingly to feed them every single day by hand chicken feed.
So I think